But what do we think the market's going to offer us in 2022 from an inventory perspective? I really think that there's definitely going to be low supply and there's definitely going to be high demand. I think it's going to be a similar market to 2021. I think, though, it's going to be a market that, if you're in the game of real estate, especially if you're in the residential game of real estate, I think the market's going to be what it was back in 18 and 19 and what you expected in 18 and 19. And what does that mean? That means to me that in February of 2022, all of a sudden you're going to just start seeing the gates open up. And I think you're going to start seeing more multiple offers and you're going to start hearing more news and media about, oh my gosh, there's not enough supply. Oh my gosh, look at all this demand. And I think it's going to be back to where it was in 2021, spring market, coming into the summer. And it's going to be repeat, wash, rinse, and repeat. Granda, what do you think on inventory?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I was just looking the other day, inventories for this whole last year has been under a month basically in our market. And when you're going into just, November, December with that low of inventory, you're not coming out with any higher, because people aren't listing their homes as much during the cold months. And so it's just going to exactly repeat last year. There's always that looming what if financial thing. Like, are we at the peak of a stock market? Are we at the, is the China bond issue going to affect the real estate in the United States, the default that they got going there? There's always those things, but, I don't think it'll be real estate that if something does happen, it will be real estate that causes it. But I think that we're going to continue just to have a crazy year. Appreciation is going to be high again. And people, again, are going to be like, homes are unaffordable, but they're still going to keep buying them. It's just
right. And
be crazy.
Let's put this out there. Grand, are you going to still buy residential real estate properties as investments and rehab them and sell them or keep them and rent them?
Yep. I'm going to try to do 25 next year versus this 15 that we're closing down on this year. So.
Yeah. And it's so funny because I hear people say, oh, don't buy. Oh my gosh. Robert Kiyosaki on his podcast. Oh my God, you're an idiot if you flip. You're so dumb. Like, you got to be the stupidest person ever. Well, Robert, you know what? Unfortunate thing is you don't know what the hell you're doing. So like, if you know what you're doing, I'm actually not an idiot. And I can show you for 17 years, I haven't been an idiot. So you know what? Maybe you need to figure it out. And maybe then you can make a judgment because he doesn't even know how to do rehabs, right? So the only thing that he thinks you should do is buy cash flow properties. No, he's not wrong, but it's all perspective. So I totally agree with you. I'm going to be buying all next year. It's just, you got to buy the right deals at the right price. It's all about what you buy it at, not what you sell it out. And you have to do your research and not buy something and overpay. Like, if you overpay, you're an idiot. Then you are an idiot and you don't deserve to make money.
Yeah, it's rare that we find a house in MLS that we can go and like buy and be like, oh, we got ourselves a good deal. Now we're going to go and turn this and flip it. And that's what a lot of flippers and people do out there. It's like all of our deals come from off market. It's like I always say, it's like going through a coal field looking for a diamond. If you're not willing to go through a coal field to try to find a diamond, you're probably not going to beat me in the real estate investment game, and especially my brother who's out there hunting them every day. Exactly.
All right, let's go to interest rates. You know what? My prediction is interest rates are going to be under 4% all year. They just bumped up. They bumped up here. I think it was last month to just above 3. And now I just checked them. Now they're below 3. Like what? How are they going up and down? What's even happening? At the end of the day, I can tell you what's happening is there's too much debt out there. And if that rate goes too high, the United States of America will have a hard time paying their debt. So what are the odds of that rate going up to a point where the United States of America will not be able to hold up to their debt obligations? Slim to none. So I think that you're looking at a 4% rate or lower for all of 2022. What do you think, Brando?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's they can't climb it up too fast. It'll stall out the economy. No presidency wants to stall out an economy and be the person that is holding that bag. So I think it'll stay low, throughout this whole year. I mean, if the talk about tapering is there, they want to taper and stuff like that, which I think effectively could drive up rates. But I just don't think, I think you're right. Like, it can't go up that high because they can't kill things off, and they aren't going to just default on their own stuff. So they put themselves in a bad spot.
Yeah, exactly. So. Construction costs and labors. I think that construction cost and labor will continue to increase because the demand and the supply chain will not get much better. I mean, at the end of the day, there's going to be a ton of demand because of the inventory shortage on building stuff. new construction primarily, obviously, residential. And that's just going to drive labor prices no matter what. Plus, the other thing that's going to drive labor prices is when kids graduate high school or kids graduate college, the first thing they think about, oh, I want to be an electrician. Oh, I want to be a plumber. Oh, I want to be a carpenter. Oh, I want to be a framer. Oh, I want to roof houses. Oh, I want to install windows. No, they do not think that. Not one kid is going to say that that's what they dream to be. But what's going to happen is these kids aren't stupid. At some point, there's the kids out there like my cousin who's like, you know what? I don't want to sit behind a computer. I don't want to be stuck in a house. I want to do something with my hands. I love using my hands. You know what? I think I'm going to be an electrician. And he became an electrician and he is making bank. And I think the kid's like 28 years old and he's making more money than a lot of his friends. And he's like, there's nothing wrong with being an electrician.
Yeah. Trades, dude. Trades are definitely not going away with building construction and with everything that, with the way that America's growing, it's just going to keep growing and they're going to be more of a demand. And it's a sad thing in schools is they don't push trades, as well as they should. At least in our area, they don't. But
oh no, I agree.
I'm with you, man. Like supply chain issues are going to be rough over this whole next year. I think they said it'll probably be another year, or a little bit over that before things start to kind of level out with that. I was just not like a few weeks ago, I saw there was like some 60 shipping freighters off the coast of California, just sitting out there for weeks in the ocean, trying to come ashore, but they can't. In our local area, like on Oregon, we've got a little town called Coos Bay. They're trying to build a shipping port down there so they can bring ships in because they're like, man, if this is going to be an issue and there's going to be this much coming to the West Coast, why don't we build our own, supply place? That's going to take years to get done, So it's one of those things that like until more places have access, for boats to land, it's just going to continue to be an issue.
Do you feel like this supply chain is starting to get a little fishy and almost feels artificially manipulated as if they know that, if we keep the supply down, we can keep driving price. Let's just come up with a bottleneck. And you know what? This is going to be great for us as the manufacturers or whatever it is. I mean, I feel like there's something that's a little fishy here because the supply chain was a well-oiled machine. And now you're telling me like boats are stuck out and like they can't bring the boats in and they can't, the docks or this or that or whatever excuse they're coming up. Like those boats were coming in on a regular click and they were pulling that stuff off those boats and getting it out like it was nobody's business. But now all of a sudden they forgot how to do it.
Yeah, it is weird. So they'll claim a worker shortage next after that. So when you ask that exact question, how'd you get them before? Now they say we don't have enough workers. No, it's like you didn't lay off that was an essential job, so it's like, and then they're like, well, we can't find people to work. You can't find people to be paid $100,000 to be a dock worker. It's like, especially in California, I think there's probably a lot of people that want to be dock workers for $100,000. So I question that too, and it's very interesting to me. And to me, I always think with any of these things, in a capitalist society, there's always opportunistic squeezes, right? Like if you see an opportunity, and these people aren't dumb, they are amazing at what they do and getting things from point A to point B and products and everything else like that. If they see the opportunity where they can essentially double their product price and still sell the same amount, and
they have a hell of a good excuse.